Doubtlessly, these are very trying times, and none of us is going to have the kind of Sunday worship we're used to. Perhaps you won't be hearing no jita today. The choir is not going to be in a special room. I don't know where you're watching this, but your Sunday is not going to be the ordinary one. And you are not going to hear Papa preach today. You're not going to be in the heavy duty anointing of your cherished man of God. Many of us are going to be in our homes. If your family, if we have the luxury of living together in the same environment, or just your family, all of you closely gathered together. Many of us are going to be pastors for the very first time. We've never done it before. We've always taken our family to church to listen to the man of God. But today you are the man of God. And I want to say, welcome to the club. Maybe some of us feel it is not a nice thing. I actually think it is good. I think it is good that we're beginning to taste church like it was in the beginning. And maybe there's a little advantage to it, my friend, if we're going to learn from a woman called Anna. If you have your Bibles with you, please go to 1 Samuel. We're reading from verse 8. Verse 8 started after Anna's problem with the second wife. Life was terrible for her. They were there in Shiloh. It's been a time of, it's the Feast of Tabernacle actually, a time of feasting, people were drinking, but she was not happy. Why? Because she had no child. And the husband was trying to comfort her, giving her a comfort that is not comforting. Let's see verse 8. Then Elkanah, her husband, said to her, Hannah, why do you weep? Why do you not eat? And why is your heart grieved? Am I not better to you than 10 sons? I've wondered why he said that too many times. Am I not better than 10 sons? If you think you're better than 10 sons, why did you marry the second one? A question I would love to ask Elkanah one day, if we finally meet. So Hannah arose, after they had finished, that is verse 9. They finished eating and drinking in Shiloh. Now Eli the priest was sitting in the seat by the doorpost of the tabernacle of the Lord. Verse 10. And she was in bitterness of soul and prayed to the Lord and wept in anguish. Then she made a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your maidservant and remember me, and not forget your maidservant, but will give your maidservant a male child, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall come upon his head. That was her prayer. This is a prayer that has been preached from by many, many preachers. It's been the thematic preoccupation of many messages. The anguish, the outpouring of the heart of a woman in anguish. But it was not spoken. If you read further, you will see that her lips were moving, but nothing was coming out. This was a woman who was so grieved she had no language. But God had. God had. But the part of it people concentrate upon is a vow. If you give me a son, I give him back to you. And many of us think that was why God answered that. Perhaps I've not asked God. Maybe it was part of the reason. But I do not think that our Father ignored the kind of anguish that was in Hannah. He doesn't. I do not think it is particularly how she framed her words. I think it was the state of her heart. And something else I want to show you today. Notice, this is not Hannah's first time in the tabernacle. She was there earlier. She was there for a congregational service. You know, if they were feasting and drinking like the Bible said to us, it means the first were together in the tabernacle, and the high priest must have prayed. The high priest prayed, the whole of the congregation said, Amen. The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face to shine upon you, and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. This must have been a prayer said to them congregationally. And then family by family, they were taking their offerings to the high priest. And the high priest must have put his hand on the head of Elkanah's offering and bless his family. And they must have left the place, given the part that pertained to the priest unto them, and it was time for feasting. Prayer said already, but let me rephrase that. Congregational prayer said already. But this woman knew this is not the first congregational prayer she's been listening to. They've been coming to Shiloh over and over and over and over, years after years, but it didn't remain. Because she was always looking at the high priest and hoping that the congregational prayer for that year would do it for her. But today, she needed to see God beyond the congregational prayer. And you know what she did? She returned to Shiloh. Why did she return to Shiloh? Because simply, as at that particular time, the tabernacle is in Shiloh. Yes, the Ark of the Covenant was right there. All Israel believed that the presence of God was there, so she was returning to where God is supposed to be, but not to see the high priest. This time she wanted to meet with God face to face. Her grief propelled her to go back to that place. And when she was talking, she was not aware that the high priest was looking at her. She was having a tete-a-tete with her Creator. Boy, the Lord had. The anguish of the soul of this woman, all of the trouble there is such that God could not ignore. He hearkened his ear to her, he listened to her, and he responded to her. The rest is history. She got a baby boy, and that baby boy happened to be Samuel, one of the best prophets of Israel. Yes, she kept her promise. She gave the child unto God. God kept his promise first. He gave her the son she desired. But then the point I'm making today is you're going to be home. I don't know for how long. I don't know how long this corona thing is going to be around with us. We're going to be home this Sunday, maybe next Sunday. There's going to be a lot of activities on the internet. Your church is going to preach, and the big man of God is going to be there. If you can see him in church on Sunday, you will see him on the internet today. And then they're going to give you a code where you're going to pay your tithe, and it's going to be church as usual. But please listen to me. Let us have the Anna sense. The Anna sense that says, I want something beyond the high priest. The Anna sense that says, I'm going to go back to God alone. And you don't have to go to Shiloh. No, you don't have to go to Shiloh. Not the old Shiloh, not the new Shiloh, not any Shiloh created by anybody. Because the tabernacle is no longer there. God left his place behind the curtains. If you remember, and you are close to the Bible, you will know that when the Lord died and he said it was finished, totally complete, the work of your redemption and mine, the Bible says to me that the thick curtain that separated us from the Holy of Holies was torn. You can stay outside if you want to. There will always be outer court Christians. You can come into the inner court if you want to. There will always be inner court Christians. But you can be like Hannah. You can just go straight to where God is. You can say to God, I want to have a tete with you. Face to face with the Lord. She went there. Oh, coincidentally, if you like the word, the high priest was there. And many would think it was the blessing of the high priest that gave her the miracle. I don't think so. She met with the Lord. She spoke a contract with God. She signed a business pact with her Creator, such that God could not ignore. So I'm beginning to think that yes, we can go to church this Sunday. It's not a bad deal. I'm beginning to think there'll be no choir. I think all of the Levites sang at the very early morning congregational meeting in Shiloh. When she returned, there was no Levite singing. There was no harpist there, no flutist. There was no music. She wanted to meet the Lord beyond music. I think it's an opportunity for you to begin to set fire to your closet. Oh yes, I think it is time for you to begin to light your personal altar again. Yes, you're not going to hear the big man. Yes, no problem. You're not going to hear your choir. Yes, no problem. There's not going to be any comedian making you laugh. That's what you're going to miss in the congregational meeting. But at home today, this Sunday, and the next Sunday, if the Lord so will, let it be that this time of quarantine is going to get you closer to God. You're going to talk to him one-on-one. And I say to you, if you have the kind of heart Anna had, You're going to see God like she met him. She spoke to God directly. God heard her. All that the high priest added were all he could add. He said, be to you, according to your faith, and that's all. And that's what I'm saying to you. As you go into your closet, as you begin to seek the Lord personally, as you go beyond the tahara, you go beyond the congregational traditions, the things you're used to, pay your tithe if you feel like so doing. No problem. I don't have any problem with tithe. I actually think that the church needs it. You know, we have to pay the pastor, so we need to pay tithe. And he has a PA, and his PA has a PA, and his driver has a PA too, perhaps. And all these guys are going to be paid, and the tithe is necessary. And actually, I have no problem with the tithe. But go beyond the tithe. Go beyond the traditions. Begin to see God on a one-to-one basis. Like I like to say to people, paying tithe when you don't know God is simply religion. But tithe becomes meaningful when it is a gift of love from the heart of a worshipper unto his loving Father. Otherwise, it's just bukun. It means nothing. So here you are, for the first time, stay at home. Stay at home, bring your children together. I want to speak to you men. You have given your wife to the women department to disciple. That's why you're having marital problems. You've given your children to the children department to disciple. That's why you're having problem with your children. Let every man be the high priest of his own house. Disciple your wife, disciple your children. Begin to do that which the Lord entrusted Abraham with. Bring up your children in the ways of the Lord. This time of the quarantine will make you look at your children, begin to get to know who they truly are, and begin to apply biblical principles to rear them. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't know what is going to happen next. I would be a liar if I say to you that things are going to get easier. If these are the times I think they are, there's something else beyond Corona. Believe me. And beyond that, there's something else too. God is shaking the world. God is shaking the foundations of what things were standing against his will. And I'm saying to you, judgment will start from the household of the Father. And it's starting already. Do you think God is going to just watch us mess up the whole of that which his son died for? With our tithing and our offerings and our jets and our congregationalism and plurality? No, I think God has something to say. And it's just a personal call to you. Say, come home, son. I want to talk to you one by one. I want to talk to you face to face. I want to know you individually. Like he knew Hannah individually and he blessed her. So will this time bless you as you look at the face of your father and you see the deep love in his eyes. I say to you, happy Sunday.